Welcome back. This is the third video of lesson 3. So in the first two we looked at the overview of how you can access and also some basic HDFS commands when accessing HDFS files and doing operations in HDFS. In this video we're going to look at how to use a Java API to access HDFS. The main thing to know is the main classes needed for HDFS access and some of the additional classes and methods that are important, like the IO configuration and path information. In this video we are just going to look at snippets to just give an overview of how to use the Java API. So the base class is essentially the file system class that I mentioned in the first video. It includes basically, it's a generic file system class, but it includes a local file system implementation and a distributed file system implementation. The important classes that we need are the FS data input stream and FS data output stream, and we're going to go look at some of that. And then some of the methods to essentially get information, get streams, open files, create files, things like that. So if you're familiar with Java I/O with data input stream and data output stream that are used to read-write primitive data types, these FS data input and output stream classes are essentially equivalents. So quick overview of the FS data input stream methods. So there's a read method that lets you essentially read bytes from given position and to a particular given buffer. Read fully will read from the stream and into the given buffer. Seek basically seeks to an offset in the stream, and get position, get pos basically gives you the current position in the stream. So all these are essentially so that you can essentially seek to a particular location and read data from there. So this set of methods in this class will be useful for that. Similarly, for the output side of things, you have the position option. You have the flush option, so you can hflush data from the client's user buffer. You can close the underlying output stream. So remember, there's no seeking in this particular option because you can't really do random IO into HDFS. You can append to the HDFS file. How do these classes and methods work if you're trying to actually read a file or write a file? So let's look at the two options. So the reading from HDFS using the API. So what you can do is get an instance of file system. Essentially you need the configuration info from here and the URI info. And you open an input stream with that path, and then you can use standard IO utilities to copy the bytes from that stream to whichever location you want to, and then you close the stream. So essentially, based on the file system class and the URI, which will have the HDFS info, you would end up with the right location, and you can essentially copy copy data out. Similarly, when you're writing, you again have to create an instance. And now you can create a new path with the output location essentially, write to the output stream, and then close the file. So fairly simple once you know what are the API components essentially. Now, of course, there are a lot more complicated things you can do, and in the references we'll have a link to the full Java API options, so that if you're trying to do something more complicated, you can use that. But this was just to give a quick overview of how the API looks. The next video, what we're going to do is look at the Web HDFS REST API, which lets us do HDFS access via HTTP. So that's in the next video, and for that you will need a VM to be set up again, so because we're going to do some interactive work there.